This is Dr. Foojan Zeine, and this is the Ask Me segment. This is where you ask me a question about yourself. And here's my chance to share with you. So the question is, when I have an intuition that shows up for me, I have a hunch. For example, in a relationship, I have a hunch about what the other person's intention might be, or the other person wants something from me, or the way that their communication is, it seems like they're manipulating me. Or I have dreams about something and I'm like, I know it, but how can I trust it? Because sometimes I've gone to the place of thinking that I know it, and definitely that's the truth. But when I went in and checked, it wasn't. So, how can I trust my intuition? Well, how can you trust your intuition? It's an intuition is a part, is an information that shows up for you. Now, some people think that this intuition is an information that shows up from outside of ourselves and not inside of ourselves. And we could really look at that. And there's also information that shows up based on your own knowledge. So, for example, because you are with a person, because of the history you've had with a person, because of your own fears or your wishes, or when you are with them and you're kind of like you're really fast paced analyzing their way of their body language, their way of putting the information together, or the way they're talking to you. So you're projecting and assuming a lot of different things about that person also. Now, these assumptions and projections can be intuitive because you've gained the information and it is inside of you, or it could be that it is your assumption and your projection. And that based on your own past history, based on your traumas, based on the things you've known, that you might have a negative concept about it. So that you would look at them and you would assume that they don't like you or they want to manipulate you, and you'll go into this hypervigilant stuff place in yourself where you want to protect yourself, and you have every right. So whether this information shows up as an intuitive concept, as if it's your sixth sense that is getting the information from externally, an outside source, or that you're getting this information because you're observing something, but it's happening so fast that this observation does not appear like you're going through a conscious observation, but that is because of all the data that you're consistently getting and based on your own history with that person, or these type of scenarios, for example, in work scenarios or in relationship scenarios, or the past history that you have, you're coming up with some, assumptions. Well, how can you trust it? Maybe do reality check. Maybe ask other people if they see the same thing about the other person. Maybe ask the other person themselves. This is somehow, a feeling that I have, a hunch that I have. Is that true? And let them know that this is only an experience that you're having, and you're attempting to do a reality check with them, because if you wanted to act and create another like layer of a bond with them, you want to go into partnership with them, you want to do some sort of a transaction, that you need to be able to do reality check with people to find out what the basis is. If you're feeling threatened by a person, where your hunch and your intuition is saying, be careful, then you might want to protect yourself and have those types of conversation. Maybe it's how to formulate your questions toward them. Maybe it's ask about them from the relatives and families and other people at work, in order to gain more information that are more like objectively out there for you, as if you need some evidence. And then having those types of evidence in combination of your emotions and feelings, then bring them together and see how is it that you can move forward, be clear with communication and intention, and find your space where your internal process with the external process kind of matches, so you can trust what shows up internally to match what the relationship looks like externally. If you have some intuitions that show up for you, but they're not coming through externally, you have a hunch about something where you thought, oh my God, this person is upset with me, or they don't like me, or they want to manipulate me. And then you go in and that's just not the case. I would suggest for you to look at, internal processes. What's going on? Where your fears are coming? Are there still traumas or issues that you haven't really handled from your past, and it keeps coming up? In order to do a knock knock, you got to take care of me, because I'm going to see the world through the filter and through the eyes that the world is going to harm me or is not going to be a safe place for me. So it's important for you to listen to the voice that is coming from inside of you, whether it is through a sixth sense, that is an information showing up, if it's through some of the neuroses you have because of unfinished businesses that you've had from the past, you haven't cleared up. So the voice is constantly coming to tell you, I need to be taken care of. So listen to it and trust it. After you trust that, now you need to also match it with the reality out there. And that happens with your clear intention and communication. Ask the right questions, observe in a way that you can get the answers to your questions. Go to the source, go to the person that you have these objections or assumptions or projections to. Ask them the questions that you need in order to fulfill the need that you have. And if you still feeling not safe with the other people, make sure that in your interactions and transactions, you do the things to protect yourself if you still need to have those type of interactions with that particular person. If you don't need to, and there are people who are just like, I just can't feel safe, and if you don't need to be in that relationship, then you might want to look at maybe not being in that relationship if it's a relationship that keeps making you feeling unsafe. If you feel unsafe with most of people, then you need to take care of yourself and find ways of feeling the power from inside and feeling the safety from inside, and learning ways to set boundaries with people, with your communication and your strength. So trust yourself and learn the boundaries and learn skills in how to take care of yourself all the time. Thank you.